Hey folks, sorry I've been missing in action for so long. Quarantine hit and online school has been giving me a hemorrhage lately, but stepping away from all that, I just wanted to drop a video on the day that is my birthday. I wanted to make a bit more of a serious video, as you can tell judging from the title. Just note that this is gonna be a bit of a quick video. This is about games that I grew up with and stuff that influenced my childhood. Anyways, without any more delays, let's just jump right into it. Now, this is a game I wanted to make a video on a while back, but I always figured that it would never get a whole lot of views or attention, and I ended up just scrapping it. But now I finally get the chance to talk about this obscure gem. Kameo, The Elements of Power, is a game about a sister who has passed down a family heirloom which allows her to transform into elemental creatures. This, however, makes her sister Callus, like any other e-girl who gets jealous when you don't donate subs, accidentally awakens Thorn, the king of trolls. Callus then kidnaps Kameo's family and she tries to save them, but ends up failing and losing her 3 elemental warriors due to her rushing the attack and not waiting for the whatnot, a book which allows Kameo to store her elemental warriors. So now you're weaker than when you started. Now you have to get your old warriors back and obtain some new ones along the way to save your family. The story may be a bit generic, but it's fun and enjoyable. Plus, this was also made by Werehog. The gameplay is pretty simple. You have your standard combat, puzzle solving, and light platforming sections. To be honest, this game sorta reminds me of Zelda. You acquire new items, which you use to progress the story to enter dungeons or key locations. Then you use said items in the dungeon to progress through it and fight some big baddie. Regardless, the game is still fun. Each elemental warrior you acquire has their own moveset which can be upgraded with elemental fruits, which you can buy from shops or find. I won't get in depth with each elemental, but I will gloss over some. We got Rubble, an actual pile of rocks that is surprisingly good for crowd control. Thermite, a small little ant who, much like Atlas, carries the world inhabited by simps on his shoulder, but instead of the world, it's just a magma cannon. Ash, a dragon that can't fly but makes up for it by spitting that hot fire which would make Drake quiver in his boots. And last, but certainly not least, the Chad of Chads, Pummelweed. The first and only elemental you'll need. A literal flower boxer who doesn't take shit from anybody and will box them into the next corona-infested hospital. The man has an uppercut that has the power to launch you straight up into the sun, and his weed killer just devours the soul of any poor sap eviscerated by it. I would make an entire video dedicated to this Chad, but it's not Father's Day yet. Oh, good lord, the memories on this bad boy. Say what you will about this blue blob, but goddammit, I will defend some of his games till the end of time. Okay, maybe except that one. As bad as Unleashed was in the public eye, to me it was a fun adventure that I would go on any time of the friggin' week. The gameplay was fast and punished poor reaction time. It had some neat progression by giving you more and more moves the further you progressed in the story, which rewarded playability of older levels, like the Lightspeed Dash or Air Boost, which made it so you could get some insane maneuverability, and helped you get to some places you normally couldn't get to without them. The leveling system was also a neat feature, but I'm a little disappointed we haven't really seen any more of it since. It was a neat sense of progression that could be used to level Sonic or the Werehog. Speaking of the Werehog, it was alright. It wasn't amazing because some of the levels, I feel, were just a little bit too long or dragged out. But other than that, some of the bosses and other levels were actually really enjoyable. I do kinda like the design of the Werehog and the idea of a day and night cycle to help switch up the gameplay a bit, plus, stretchy arms are cool. Also, the boss fights in this game are superb. Sure, there are some stinkers, but the real highlights were the Egg Dragoon, Egg Beetle, and Dark Gaia. And one thing I must touch up on is the music in this game. Good God, if you want your own video game version of lo-fi hip-hop beats to study to, then this is the OST for you. Because hot diggity damn, each song perfectly captures the atmosphere of where you are. Just take a listen. Just amazing. Say what you will about Sonic, but you can't convince me that his music is terrible. That and the main theme is just an absolute banger. I never thought I'd play a game as a pink ball that constantly forced things to absorb their powers, but yet here we are. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. That being said, this is the first Kirby game I've ever played, and goddamn, I'm so glad that it was the first. This game is visual eye candy, just right out in the title screen. And god, it's just fun to control. From having an infinite amount of jumps and trying out different types of copy abilities is just fun, including the super abilities, aka the Chad's version of a copy ability. These things are powered up versions of the former. Not all of them have super variations of them, but for the ones that do, those include Super Magic, which summons a big ball of destruction, Super Hammer, a hammer which allows you to expand it to the size of extra thick and to smite the infidel! Super Fire conjures a long-ass flaming dragon, Super Ice turns you into a snowball which runs over everything, and last but certainly not least, Super Sword, aka screw your katanas you filthy weebs, I'm sticking to the sword that's literally the size of my ego after reaching 128 subs. No, I'm not being egotistical, I'm being massively egotistical. Okay, but ego jokes aside, I really like the super abilities idea. It was a cool way to give the player a cool sense of power and, spoilers, to end off the grand Boomer Doomer and Magalore. Sadly, we have never seen this kind of mechanic again, much like my father after I'm old enough to live on my own. On a side note, holy cow! This game's OST is just as good as Sonic Unleashed's. It knows how to play some good tunes to get you jamming, and it knows how to hook up liquid hype to your veins when you get a super ability. Seriously, good soundtracks matter, people. It invokes a feeling of emotion or power. That, and I feel that just most games don't get it right nowadays. Well, those are the games I wanted to touch up on. Sorry if this video is a bit short, but I wanted to get something out at the very least instead of leaving you guys in the dark for 4 months. I'm really sorry for having an inconsistent upload schedule. It's just that it can be a bit hard to pull out the motivation to work, and I don't want to give up either. That being said, I do have another video in the works and the script's partially done. It just might take me a bit to finish it completely, however, since I want to make this the best video I got. Also, if you guys really want it, I might bring back the Discord. Big might. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day from this 15 to now 16-year-old. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some memories to revisit. Until then, I will continue to entertain you all. Peace!